So in the year 1980, Max Planck won the Nobel Prize in Physics, and with that started his lecture circuit. So he would tour all over Germany delivering talk on quantum mechanics. Now at that time he had a chauffeur who would drive him to all these places, accompany him, and while Planck was delivering lectures, the chauffeur himself being an educated man, he would sit at the back of the hall and listen in. Now this went on for a couple of weeks, and after a dozen or so talks, the chauffeur said, "Professor Planck, I have listened to your speech so many times that I can bet I can myself deliver it." And Planck was amused and he said, "Okay, let's give it a try." So the next city, they swapped their places. Planck sat in the audience in the front row wearing the chauffeur's hat, and the chauffeur himself took on the stage and delivered a flawless, perfectly technical speech. Now comes the twist in the story. A person in the audience raised a hand and asked a really hard technical question. Now the chauffeur was trapped. He didn't know what to say. He had no idea. But instead of giving up or panicking, he used his wit. And he looked at the person asking the question, smiled and said, "I am surprised that in a city as advanced as yours, you are asking such a simple question. In fact, it's so basic that even my chauffeur can answer it." And with that, he handed over the mic to the real Planck sitting in the audience. Now, this is mostly an anecdotal account. We don't really know whether it happened, but there are one very important learning or takeaway for me from this anecdote. And here, the term chauffeur knowledge is often used as a metaphor for superficial understanding, for knowing the name of something without really understanding it deeply. And we all have our heads full of chauffeur knowledge about hundreds of things, trivia about several things, and there is nothing wrong with that because we have limited time. We cannot really be a Planck in every field. However, we must not fool ourselves in thinking that just because we know the buzzword, or just because, and it is becoming more and more common these days, just because we have read 100-word AI summary, we think we know it. No, we don't. When it really matters, we must go beyond chauffeur knowledge and invest the time and effort to really earn the understanding that only comes by doing the work, right? And when you know that you have when you are really self-aware about your own chauffeur knowledge, that actually enables you to delegate the hard questions to the person who really knows the answer.